everybody, we're going to talk about a special topic today. We started adding our Venmo and PayPal down there because we're trying to get rich. No, tips are welcome, and somebody had an idea for this episode. What's his name again?
Michael Terry.
And where's he from?
Hawaii!
Yeah, what do you know?
One of us dressed for Michael.
Oh, you know, that leads me to, look at this. This ain't too bad.
Walmart.
$9.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see the...
It actually, it's correct. It's accurate.
$9, Alive, 1975.
Yeah, it's not a picture of them on the farewell tour, and it says like Spirit of 76 tour or something.
Yeah, totally. They do that all the time. But $9, and I got to say, Walmart did it again because they've had 2 or 3 cool Kiss shirts actually. Mm-hmm. And you know, a long time ago, I realized the old Kiss stuff, nobody's ever gonna be able to touch it. It's the coolest. And every time a Target or Walmart or whatever the fuck comes out with a new shirt, you know, I think to myself, why not? I love it. You know what I mean? So this is the newest one, and I think it's probably the best one.
That is.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Just caught
cool
my
colors.
attention the second I walked in.
It's distressed. If you could feel it here, it's really good quality. It's thick, like a nice rubber mat. I should have chafed nipples later. It's awesome.
And you know, speaking of our viewers, I was recently having a Beach Boys conversation with Dean, and Dean, awesome guy. And so, Dean, this is for you, okay? That is for you. The Hawaiian shirt is for Michael Terry. And this episode is dedicated to him because, like he just mentioned, you can donate to us. And if you do, you get to pick a topic that we're going to talk about. But here's the thing. Michael Terry's topic was so cool, we decided to do a whole episode about it. So thank you, Michael. Michael's from Hawaii. Kiss played Hawaii one time in 1976. Unfortunately, he wasn't born yet, so he never got to see them, not in Hawaii anyway. Isn't that weird they only played there once? Wouldn't you think they'd go back on the farewell tour?
Kiss. It is weird since they got such a kind of a tropical theme to the look of the band.
They really do. They really do. So, the topic, what is it?
The topic is album covers.
Absolutely.
Favorite album covers. I have a list that's approximate because I'm not a really good ranker. And Jason is a pro ranker. So he's got it down to a T. He did it in reverse order. You're going to be on the edge of your seat. You're going to need popcorn. And me, I just put together the shitty list with my handful of favorite albums, and then I tossed all the other ones. But we are going to, after that, we're going to talk about each one from the start to the end.
True.
Which is what I'm excited about.
So, again, the format, I read my list, he reads his. Let's save mine for last.
First. You first.
There's a lot of, you know.
There'll be the countdown.
Yeah.
I'll be setting off some fireworks over here for your number one.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so what I have my favorite of all, although is it technically the best, I don't know, but Alive just has the mood. It just has everything. It has the band. Ironically, it doesn't really have a proper Kiss logo on there because it has their sign in the background. It's kind of an interesting thing, I realized. But Alive's number one. Hotter Than Hell is killer, full of color, amazing. Creatures, I just love the Creatures cover. And I love what it represents, getting heavy again. Love Gun, of course, is way up there. Rock and Roll Over. It's hard to differentiate between Love Gun, Rock and Roll Over, and Destroyer. Those 3 in a row are just like, which one is the best? You know, it just depends on the day. Really, really cool. So I got Love Gun, Rock and Roll Over, and Destroyer. Those album covers just really pop. And you know, when we first talked about this, like, hey, this guy mentioned the album covers, so I thought, you know, that's pretty cool. But as I pulled these albums out today, I was like, whoa, this is super, super fun.
Oh, super fun.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Somebody finds out I'm a Kiss fan. Oh, I think my sister's got a bunch of Kiss records, you know, in the basement. When they hand them to me and I'm looking through each one, I feel like I'm starting over again. Like, what is this, Destroyer? It's just that feeling. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Which is why deep Kiss fans got to have that Japanese copy and that Brazilian copy and that whatever, because it's just so fun to experience.
Yes, it
that
really
again.
is.
Yeah. So then I got after Destroyer, I got Alive 2, Solos, Killers. I love the Killers.
Wait, solos? You're not gonna individually name which one you like best or anything? I do that on my list. Stay tuned.
It's just whichever one's turning my crank more at the time.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Dynasty, look it up. The debut. Originals. It's about where I put Originals. And Originals 2, the art is, I like Originals 1. I think in Originals 1, the picture is their faces are a little too discreet in the explosion and whatnot, but it's cool. Originals 2, the art is a little haphazard, so I put it second.
To say the least.
And then we start getting into the albums that are on the lesser side of things. But Animalize, Asylum, Crazy Nights, that was prime time for me. That was me. I was going to the swap meet and seeking out all the old albums, and these were the current albums. So Animalize, Asylum, Crazy Nights. I put those covers right about in the same ballpark there, but they aren't very nostalgic for me. And then the rest of it, honestly, numerically, why I didn't rank them all, I really don't care. Sonic, Monster, Revenge, Hot in the Shade, Unplugged. I don't even know if that one belongs on the list at all, but Alive 3. I'm not really a big fan of any of those album covers.
Did you have Carnival on your list?
Carnival belongs over here too, because it's kind of a shitty album cover. It's a great album, but shitty album cover.
So all your quote-unquote shitty album covers are the later ones?
No, yes, they are.
I might see a theme developing here.
It's post Crazy Nights.
So let's talk about that for a second. Did they just stop caring? Or
well,
what?
Dennis's last album with them was Crazy Nights. It's that simple.
Dennis is the man.
Yeah, because when we talk about Alive and
Dennis
Destroyer, he actually sees a comic book on a shelf. He calls the magazine company. He says, "Give me this artist's name," and blah blah blah. He, single-handedly controlled all these great album covers that we see, and I think Crazy Nights was his last one of any involvement.
So downhill from there after Dennis.
I mean, I hate to say it, but absolutely downhill.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's all about one person. You think about all those great Blue Note albums, all those great Impulse albums. That's because one guy recorded them all, pretty much. One guy. So one guy can be really instrumental in shaping a whole scene.
Hey, one guy shaped like a whole genre in the 70s. Hypnosis?
Oh, Hypnosis. Well, was it a couple guys or
a company?
maybe it turned into a team or whatever? But yeah, absolutely, they did a lot of stuff.
Pushead in the 80s, right?
Yep.
Yeah. See. All right.
So that's my haphazard list. What do you got, Mr.?
Well, this is the countdown. This is what everyone's been waiting for. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I have
drum roll. A drum roll for number one.
No, we're starting at the bottom.
Yeah.
I have 26 listed, but I have a tie, so there's really 27 here. Okay.
See, he thinks so much about it. There's a tie involved.
Yes.
That's amazing.
So coming in at number 26, in other words, my least favorite Kiss album cover. Should I show it? It's right there. I'm looking at it. It's like eye garbage. This piece of crap. Okay? I could be talking about what's inside as well. At least half of it. No, this album is not a piece of crap. But Read My Body is.
Did you see the tour? I can't remember if you did.
Yeah.
You did. So this thing, the Sphinx on the stage, actually was kind of cool.
It's not cool. I don't want this on a shirt. Let's put it that way. A lot of times when you rank album covers, you want to think about how proud would I be to wear that on a shirt. No, I don't want that on a shirt.
I bought my daughter one from a store at the mall, and it kind of had a pink and a purple thing worked into it, and they had the sunglasses accentuated, and I thought it was pretty good for a 12-year-old girl shirt. But for me, I passed.
Yeah, we're grown men.
Yeah. And the back too. What's the back? Is that clouds?
I think it's a close-up of the Sphinx.
Like, oh yeah, you're right. You're right. It is. Yeah.
Like that's an album cover trick, or a back of an album cover trick. It's just to do a close-up of the cover. Yeah. A lot of albums are like that, really. Then they have to give it to you on the CD as well.
That's what the shirt kind of was, and it had some like pink and purple.
I've seen that one. Yeah.
Not a bad shirt, but I ain't wearing it.
No. Is it the worst album cover I've ever seen? No, but
what's worse? Oh, Scorpions.
No. There's a Crosby, Stills and Nash album, and I swear to God, people, I can't think of the name right now.
I think Virgin Killers is way worse, probably.
No, there's. I wish I had it to show.
There's two naked girls on CSN album.
No, this one I want to say it has to be from the '80s, and I want to say the album's called "Live It Up," but I could be wrong. But I swear to God, It's a picture of space, and there are fucking hot dogs floating in
Oh.
space. I kid you not. Anyway, so
Yeah.
no, not the worst album cover ever, but my least favorite Kiss album cover. Okay, that was number 26. Number 25 is Sonic Boom. Okay, I know Kiss is, technically on the cover of this, but it just, to me, it looks like a failed attempt to recreate Rock and Roll Over. I don't really like the colors. It's a little too bright for me. It just does nothing for me, and it never did, Number 24 is Psycho Circus. Here's my tie. Unplugged and Alive 3. Okay? They're just... Compare those to the earlier live albums, no comparison. They're just kind of boring covers, really. Number 22 is Animalize. Number 21 is the last Dennis album, which he mentioned, Crazy Nights. Number 20, we fit the top 20 now, okay? Carnival of Souls. 19, Revenge. Simple, to the point, but I like that. I like simplicity in album covers sometimes. The next one would be Killers. We are including Killers in this. Then you have The Elder.
I forgot to even put Elder on here, but Elder's pretty high up for me.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't matter. We're going to talk about it in a second.
Okay, it would be in your...
Be in my first 10 or so.
Okay.
Because I think it's really cool that
Okay.
it's different for them. That's why I like it.
Yeah, and speaking about simple album covers that make statements, Lick It Up. I mean, here we are, street clothes, Lick It Up is next.
It's white. I mean, what is Smell the Glove? What is that? I mean,
None More Black. 15 originals. I didn't even know originals we were going to include that, but he mentioned it, and I was like, yeah, that I mean, I dig the atomic bomb and their image right there,
it's a Kiss album cover I've been looking at my whole life, really. I mean,
Yeah, so yeah, originals number 15. Number 14, and this is, I wish it could be higher, but I have a Live 2 at 14. And, it's, the thing is, those pictures, and that picture of Gene in particular is like the coolest picture of all time. And when you open it up, and come on. But still, I wish they were bigger. I know it is on the back, but this is about album covers. The pictures are too small on the bottom. And yeah, I get it, big Kiss logo, cool colors, but I don't know. I can't put it any higher than 14. 13 is Dynasty. To me, it's another statement album cover. It's like, we're back together after the solo albums. Here we are together. Here's our faces. 12, the debut album. Okay, here's my solo album. I got all the solo albums listed in a row because, it's hard to separate them. Although, I do like ones better than others. Number 11, Peter Criss. Okay. 10, Paul.
Poor Peter.
I technically like Peter's album cover better than the debut. I mean, I love the solo album covers. I think they're amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. But Peter, Paul, Ace, and then Gene at number 8. Okay, and when we pull them out, I'll explain to you what I like about each one. Destroyer is number 7. And I know some people are... a lot of people probably have that at number 1.
It could easily be number 1.
But the 6 in front of Destroyer are so effing good.
Yeah.
Creatures of the Night. Number 6. Number 5, Hotter Than Hell. Number 4, my favorite Kiss studio album, but it's the 4th best cover, Rock and Roll Over. Number 3, Dress to Kill. And so people are wondering, like, oh, there's only 2 left. What's he have at number 1? Well, you're going to know what number 1 is when I tell you what number 2 is. Number 2, Kiss Alive. What does that leave us with? Love Gun. And we're going to get to that in a bit when we're talking about the albums. So we're going to go through the albums one by one, and he has them stacked in order. So we'll start with the debut.
So you have Alive number 2. I have it number 1. You have Hotter Than Hell 5. I have it where do I have it? I have it 2.
Okay.
So we both can
Yep.
agree that Alive has a great mood. It's really exciting. Hotter Than Hell pops. And the Rock and Roll Over. Where's your Rock and Roll Over? Yep, you're 4. I have it 5-ish. Destroyer. So I mean, dude, those are the best ones.
Our top 7 is exactly the same.
Alive, Hotter, Creatures, Love Gun, Rock and Roll Over, Destroyer. For me, Alive 2 is way up there because I love the graphicness of it and the way it pops. I mean, I love it. I love it.
Now, really quick, this was just about album covers. If this was about total packaging, Alive 2, absolutely number one. With Alive 2, with
next
Alive.
episode is called Total Packaging. But I do a lot of posters for the club and stuff, and I do my group is called They Walk Among Us. I do all the album covers and stuff, and I love graphicness. You know, I grew up loving comics and stuff, and comics and Kiss they cross over somewhere. You know, so I've always loved Alive too. But I can see what you're talking about with it being simple.
Bold, very bold.
I mean, I think Dennis said something about that. Like, there's not much to it. Just kind of arranged like this and put the pictures down here.
Yeah. Fucking love that album though.
Yeah. So okay, so I got him here in chronological order, and bam.
Take turns. The debut.
So what do you think about it? Any interesting facts you have to share?
Well, I have it at number 12, so it's pretty much right in the middle. Well, first of all, Peter's makeup.
Dennis said
that was literally Peter's makeup for the day, for the photo session. And
Dennis said he was called to come down to kind of help with the makeup because he was a design guy, and I think he said he called someone else. Who is the guy that came down and helped with the makeup? But he called the other guy that did this thing to Peter.
It was some Italian name. Yeah, that's horrible. He wasn't going to be putting this on every night, you know. They should have kept it simple.
And the dude that took the picture, it's Strange Days, right?
Yeah, for the record, I hate the cover of Strange Days, and so does Jim Morrison.
Really?
Yeah.
I like it. I think it's got a weird ass mood, although I don't like clowns.
Yeah, I don't
It's a mime on there, right?
There's a midget, a mime. It's strange. Kind of.
Yeah, it is strange. Well, they were strange days.
Strange days have found us.
So Ace's makeup and the silver looks pretty darn cool.
Okay, but
this
that's another
necklace.
thing.
Have you ever seen him wear this necklace?
No.
This is his grandma's brooch. Or
I mean, why does he have silver hair though? I mean, he makes him stand out. He's the space guy. I get it.
And Gene has the silver.
That's like a turtleneck or something.
They were doing silver.
Is this an ascot or a turtleneck? And that's like that's a dog collar. He's said that before.
They used to go to get dog collars and go to S&M shops and get stuff like this.
Yeah. And I get it. Meet the Beatles. It's, you know, here we are. You know, it's almost the same pose as.
I'd always wish that their faces were closer together, you know, and maybe not as much as Dynasty, but you know, somewhere between that and the distance of the the spacing with Dynasty, because it's definitely like at the time it was probably like, oh shit, these guys are crazy, but their faces are kind of small. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
Meet the Beatles. You're right.
Again, you know, we're kind of nitpicking here. Great fucking album.
We're being bitches.
This is a great
That's
album.
because we ain't boring. We say it like it is.
I've never looked at this album cover and was like, God, this kind of sucks. Now, this is a good album cover.
Yeah.
It's just the ones above it are better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it's classic. It's iconic.
Yeah. Although Dennis started on Alive, and if you watch that whole series where, I can't remember his name right now, but he interviewed Dennis, did extensive interviews with him about not just the artwork, but how it was made at the time, tactics they had to get that stuff done in the 70s. That whole series, he's got it collected in a playlist. Those are very, very cool. I mean, I watch them over and over. I think they're really fun. And Dennis is really cool and honest and open about stuff. And he was there at this first photo shoot, even though he didn't design an album cover until Alive. But it's interesting.
Isn't that ironic? The guy who would do their albums up till Crazy Nights was actually at the first photo shoot.
It was all connected with Bill and everybody. So
yeah.
So he was there, but he didn't end up doing a cover until Alive. We got Harder Than Hell. Amazing, but I love color. I love graphicness. It pops.
I love the color of this.
The frame.
The green fingernails are kind of strange, but
why is it green? But I mean,
yeah, but
the frame around something can really make it pop.
And know what else is cool is only us big Kiss fans know this. The story behind the photo session,
the wannabe orgy.
Yeah. This is a rare photo of Paul Stanley drunk, by the way, before he was locked in the car.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
By Gene, supposedly.
Yeah. And then there's
more outtakes and stuff in the back.
Yeah, the party. But yeah, very cool.
I also think it's very cool that they're black and white, and it's really offset with the color around them.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, circles will really cap things off and close it in really nice, and on top of that it's a frame. I mean, when you look at this, they really pulled out all the stops
They
to
did.
really just, you have these gray and red lines going outward around it. It's just like every single thing they could do to really make it pronounced. And it worked. It looks so cool.
Yeah, look at the creepy hands on the back. Yeah. Yeah. So Hotter, I had it at number 5, so
Yeah.
you know I dig it, and he had it top 5 as well.
Dress to Kill.
I had this at 3.
You do?
Yeah.
For me, it's never really been up that high, but I do like it. It's classic. It's a classic film noir looking.
It
It
kind of looks
doesn't-
like a Humphrey Bogart movie.
Yeah, it doesn't pop like some of these other things like we just showed, but it's
I like the
nothing
fact
else like it.
this is the kind of picture that looks way better in black and white, and I'm
Mhm.
glad they did that. I like the fact that it wasn't even meant to be an album cover, but they chose it anyway.
It was from that Cream little comic strip.
Yeah, the album was going to be called Kiss at Midnight, but then they look at this photo and they're like, we're dressed to kill right here. So sure enough, I mean, it's this. I know we're going to overuse this word iconic, but look at that.
The Kiss logos, the Deep Kiss fans know that the original copies were raised. The Kiss logos were raised around here. I have a German copy, I think, which is like high gloss and it's just pure black around here. Not only are they not raised, they're not even, doesn't even say Kiss, it's just black. Pretty cool. Like that excitement you get when you saw a Kiss record for the first time. It's a little different, so you know. That's why we're addicted to buying Kiss records. So pretty cool.
Yep.
And Alive.
Oh, really quick about that photo was taken the week Hotter Than Hell came out. So it wasn't like Hotter Than Hell had been out a while and okay, here's our next step, photo session. This was just for a magazine. This is Cream magazine right here.
Of course, huge Kiss fans go to New York, even if they don't live there, and take a picture in
Oh,
front of
yeah.
that. That lamppost is still there. Yeah.
We've never been to New York. We would love to go there.
It would be
Anyway,
fun. So we got Alive, which to me is the granddaddy.
yeah, I mean,
And
he had it at 1, I had it at 2. So,
is it perfectly clear? I mean, it's not.
but that's
It's-
kind of the cool thing about it.
Yeah,
it's like in a smoky haze.
Yep. It just looks crazy. It looks amazing. I love the colors of the pink and the smoke and everything.
Of course, when you're young and you're looking at this, you do literally think it's during a concert. This was
Yeah.
a photo session. I love the candelabra.
Mhm.
Love that. I love the to me the face of the drum platform looks like it's been kicked in or something. It just looks disheveled. They just look badass.
And this was taken during the Rock and Roll Over, and what was the other? Come On, Love Me.
Come On, Love Me, Rock and Roll Night videos were
videos.
shot this day at, I believe this is the Michigan Palace. This is not Cobo Hall.
Yeah, that's why it's the same look.
Yeah, it's just, I love all their guitars. Yes, and again, if you're talking about total packaging, this would probably be number 2
Yeah,
for me.
of course. You're talking about the full cover. Although we went about this episode, the front covers, because, this could go on forever if we talked about every bit of it. I think the same guy did the back cover.
The picture?
Yeah, he was walking around
Tim,
just
Tim Costello, yeah.
taking pictures
Tim
of the show
Costello,
stuff. Yeah.
Ooh,
Amazing.
Look at this.
All right, so next we got originals, which, again, full package is pretty amazing. It's got the
Oh.
little card
This is all about packaging.
that comes in there, and the whole, the booklet's amazing and everything. This happens to be a VIP Japanese copy. I have an American copy too. It's a little more beat, but I mean, it's not. I mean, if this wasn't here, how long would it take to notice that it's a Kiss album cover? Their faces could have been a little
But
more.
the moment you notice.
Yeah. The faces could have been a little more predominant, but it's the first album cover, obviously superimposed in the explosion there.
The explosion that started it all.
It's one of the last ones I got too. I think I actually got this after The Elder, and in my mind, The Elder was the last one I got of actual, studio albums that I needed, and I always heard so much shit about The Elder. I finally got it, but I think I got this one at a record convention later.
Did you
But
ever,
it's cool. What do you say about it? I mean, who designed this? Who designed this one? Do you know?
I would assume Dennis probably had something to do with it.
I don't think there's an episode on an interview episode about him talking about this. Yep. Cover design, Dennis.
Yeah, he was their main man at this time.
I don't think there's an episode on this, but
Yeah, he was their go-to guy.
boom,
Speaking
got Destroyer.
Speaking of Dennis.
A lot to say about this.
Okay, it's not. I mean, what did I have? I had this in number 7. This is the only thing I've looked at this and thought even slightly negative about. Why does Ace look all girly? The way he's standing and everything. I never understood that. That's fine, but I just never.
Well,
understood
he's
that.
supposed to be.
Because the other guys look so strong. They're superheroes.
Yeah, I guess he ended up looking a little light on his feet. They wanted him to look a little sloppy, a little clumsy.
Oh, is
He
that
does,
it?
yeah. He's all twisted around.
Okay, that's a good theory.
I mean, it's absolutely one of the best ones. It's like,
I love the colors. You know, this is
and we should show this first because this was really the first version. And that cover of Creepy that Dennis found in the comic book store that day with the robot, the colors are very more similar to these colors. That guy really preferred oranges and reds and browns and stuff. And when they redid it, because their costumes need to be redone, he said, hey, let's have some more blue in there and stuff. The story is he was paid well, so he didn't grumble too much, but he had to redo the whole thing. And of course, it's not just better because it's blue and because the costumes are different. I think it's just better. It's just there's a lot more. It's refined, you know.
without a doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And another thing is, there's a lot of fire back here. I think they also mentioned they want to minimize the destruction a little bit because Kiss was going big time at this point.
They were trying
You know.
to.
You know.
Yep. Right
And
on.
it is a wide, or here, it's a wide, it pans around. So,
Yeah, that's-
so he did it, so it kisses over on the right, and it goes over on the left. Yeah, this isn't the center. There isn't a right side we've never seen, is there? I don't think there is.
I think maybe some AI photo or something, but
Yeah, I think it wraps around.
in other words, it would have been cool as a gatefold. You know what I
true,
mean?
yeah.
It would have worked really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Ooh, look at that next one.
There's Destroyer.
What's this album called again? Come on. Would I wear this on a shirt? Fuck yeah.
I have been every year
And I have,
since
and I
I was
have.
like 15.
Many times.
How many times have I rebought this shirt?
Have you ever seen a 70s disco-looking girl wearing a yellow
The yellow
shirt,
ones, the yellow
walking
ones.
around a roller coaster?
Yeah.
This album cover right here.
Yeah.
Badass.
Yeah.
Badass. I mean, what can you say about that? It's orange has
So-
never been cooler than on this album cover. So
And
cool.
they took great care in printing this. I guess it wasn't really turning out right. The colors weren't really turning out right. Kind of like a Jimmy Page with the House of the Holy thing. The colors weren't really right, so it took forever. I guess it really extended the release of the release date for House of the Holy. Maybe not so much with this, but he had to go down there and make him do it the right way. Blah blah blah. So,
yeah.
I mean, nothing. What pops more than this? It's just amazing, you know.
Now I'm mad I didn't put it at number 1. God, I had it at number 4 actually.
Well, how
Because
do
I'm
you?
looking at it and
I mean, how do you compare a graphic art to fine art? It's just
Yeah.
what you're in the mood for, what you want to look at the moment. I
yeah.
mean,
So my top 4 are Love Getting Alive, Dressed, and Rock and Roll Over.
yeah.
I mean, again, it
most
depends
people's
on my
favorites.
mood.
Yeah,
You know. Speaking of my favorite, okay,
Love Gun.
it's similar to Destroyer in that it's like, here we are, we're dominant.
It's fantasy.
But look what they're dominant over this time.
They got the babes now. They got the yeah.
Who wasn't a 7-year-old, 8-year-old, 9-year-old boy thinking, they nailed them?
Yeah.
And come on, look at that.
So your first album was Dynasty?
No, that's the first album I bought like brand new.
Mm-hmm.
I think the first Kiss album I bought was Alive, actually.
No way.
Yeah, yeah. My mom drove us up to Budget Tapes
But
Records.
these were out. But the later albums were out. And you just picked it live? What was that?
I don't know why that. Probably because.
What year was that?
That I got it?
Yeah.
78, 79.
Oh, yeah. So,
yeah.
So live
I
wasn't
probably
current.
knew it had the booklet and, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, how do you top it?
I mean,
It's
I love
amazing.
the coloring. I love that green marble color.
Mm-hmm.
Just. Ace isn't looking girly. He's looking badass.
Ken Kelly again.
It's just, I love that right there, that little double sign. That's just, it's, oh my god.
Yeah, and Ken Kelly, of course, did Destroyer, and they wanted Frank Frazetta for it, but he wanted like 15 grand or something like that. And
Yeah.
they wanted to own it outright so they could put
And
it
this
on
is
and
based
everything.
on Ken Kelly's wife, this woman down there. These women.
I'm gonna have to look her up.
All kind of look the same.
Alive 2 is next, or Originals 2, I guess. Originals 2 is right around here.
Yeah. Originals
But,
2, just really quick. It's basically the same, like, explosion, but with some, like, cartoon pictures of them. And Peter has his tongue out in the picture.
Does he, or just have his mouth
Or-
open?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Something he probably shouldn't be doing on an album cover. But it's like a painting, too. I don't know. It doesn't do much for me. But this does.
I mean, I gotta say, I love it. It just pops. It's pure popping for me. I mean, I just think it's absolutely gorgeous. The simplicity with this one really grabs me.
I do want to say that this is my favorite Kiss logo on a Kiss album.
Mhm.
That's this whole red going into
The blue, the purple to blue. Yep.
yeah. It's
Very cool.
very cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do love it. I mean, I had it at 14, but again, these photos, and I get it. They're bigger on the back, but this is about an album cover. Those are so cool. Those 4 photos. And look at that. Look at Gene right here. That right there is rock and roll. That's Kiss right there.
That's a little bit more than rock and roll right there.
That's yeah,
Killer, though.
it's
So killer.
amazing.
And this here was another really ambitious printing idea, I think, with the materials used. But for me, although it's kind of like Elder, it's really, really cool because it's different. But it's not, when I think of my favorite album covers, it doesn't really come to mind. But
Look how bright it is on the screen.
it is really cool just because it's different. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's the thing. There's no album cover like this. You know, I love it.
Yeah.
I hated when they re-released it in the 80s.
And it was just gray.
Yeah, and it wasn't a gatefold. Yeah, I hated that. But this, I like it. It's double platinum. And I love the inside.
Yeah.
Wait, let's open up the inside and picture like Neil Bogart standing in front of it talking about it.
Let's redo it and pretend we're the outtake.
Gene Simmons! Paul Stanley. No, very cool.
Yeah.
I didn't have it on my list. You know what's funny is I had Killers on my list. but
See,
not
I didn't
that.
have Elder. It's one of my favorites, and you usually have this.
Okay.
And the thing about this is, too, it's just so nostalgic because it's prime time for Kiss. Like, oh my God, this is...
Yeah.
They're celebrating the big success story at that moment.
Some of the remixes in there we might question, but
So we'll do Jason's. So you are Gene first, right?
yes. That just... Look at the mood of that. I mean, he's got blood coming
Little
out of his
trickle
mouth.
blood. It's amazing.
Red would be the only color to use for Gene, man.
And then Ace is too?
next. Yeah. I mean...
And so here's Ace next. Here's I might have pointed this out on the Ace episode.
What about his eyes?
There's just about the colors of this I have another copy of it. This one here has got the blue print on the back. And this is one of those weird ones that's kind of got the purple print on the back. If you find that one, you can see how nice and light the blue is and contrasty it is, and the detail, like in his hairs and stuff. Whatever they did, it's a little more gloss. Whatever they did to print these ones, they really printed them nice. So,
And if you notice, one eye is lower than the other. Kind of a funny little detail.
yeah,
But it doesn't take away from it, you know?
yeah.
It's very cool.
And then next is Paul, I'm guessing,
Oh, yes.
because you like his hair so much.
Because it's Passionate Purple Paul.
Passion,
And I do love his hair.
Yeah,
I mean, he's the lover, right?
that's
Yeah,
rock star.
Look at him. He wants to hold you and touch
And this
you.
is I have another copy with the V neck, and this is the fade out. But That's the thing to watch for. If anyone out there's not hip to that, you can get the version with the.
And next is Peter.
That comes to a point. And there's Peter.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with it.
It's just killer. It's green. It's part of the set. He looks serious. He is down to business in that. It's killer. I've always loved his outfit here too. It's got kind of a colonial war thing there going. I don't know. It looks. He's ready for combat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The album wouldn't tell you that, but.
He's the demon. He started the
look
war.
what you have here. And if you want them all together. Look at
This
that.
is probably my favorite Best of the Solos version. You know, because there's Germany.
I'm glad they placed the sticker there and not like on Gene or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good sticker placement. Pay and save.
Yeah, it's my
No, you
it's
didn't
my
give us
favorite
that
version of Best. I mean, you know, just look at that really cool cheesy cursive font up there. Light blue. You know, is the Kiss logo red?
Look
or
at this.
kinda
The
pink?
writing on the back, I guess the front two looks like it's from some Leo Sayer album or something.
I just love it. I love it. The German one's cool too. The German ones are usually kind of a high gloss, and this is like a straight up matte. You know, this one's got straight up got their names by it, in case you don't know at that point. But very cool.
It's like I want to buy the album, but I don't know who these guys are.
Pretty sure it's like it's like
I don't know. $6.99. That's the price tag.
that was pretty expensive
Really?
for probably $79. Yeah.
Look, I'm not paying that for that.
Next up, of course, these two. For us young boys, the posters was the big thing. You got
Hey,
the
wait.
poster? You got the poster?
How come Anton Fig isn't on this cover?
So, killer album cover.
Again,
Absolutely killer.
Yeah, it's we're back, we're together.
They look a little tame here.
Peter's makeup, the green is not matching, but I think maybe he meant it that way. At least he's not blinking. That's the next album. I like the blue eyeshadow. That's a nice touch. Yeah,
His lips are extremely triangular here.
extremely.
He's got the silver dot going on again.
I like that his mouth is in like growl mode.
Showing off his teeth. And at this time, he had some dental work going, right? Dental work up top, and that's why he was doing these different faces a lot. Isn't that right?
Probably.
I think so.
You know, Paul's covering his half ear. You know, speaking of medical procedures.
But it's 79, so things are getting
Yeah.
more sleek. Album covers are getting more. I mean, think about what came soon after this was Out of Control. I mean, think about how that's a cool album cover, but think about how airbrushy, how glossy it is, you know, and the colors and the detail, and this, you know, the sleekness. Look at that gloss right there. Look at that shine.
Gray never worked better on an
It's
album.
79,
This
you
is
know.
cool.
I mean, but you gotta admit, total opposite mood of like Alive or something. But it's cool that their faces were huge. I've got the German wall door poster of it. It's killer.
I like the way also you really see the gray in Peter's hair. Even Ace looks a little older. It's like it's Kiss getting a little older. You know, it's like they're not that young, hungry band anymore. You know. Where did I have this on my list? Oh my God! Did I forget
You
this
forgot
on my
that
list?
too.
I forgot Unmasked. I'm sorry,
We're
Michael
pro.
Terry. I'm sorry.
We're pro.
This would I would place this around. Probably around Dynasty, actually.
I guess we both forgot it. God, see, I wasn't really going
Sorry, Unmasked.
I wasn't going for
Sorry.
too much of a list anyway. I kind of wanted to talk about them, you know. But I scratched down my favorites towards the top. This would have been pretty close to the top because that is badass.
It'd be middle for me, but I do love it. I love, you know, most of these album covers.
You know, it was done in 3 segments. The story is the guy just kept going and going and going, and he wanted to just keep working on it. They had to go take it from him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Peter's not blinking here, but he is on the poster.
Poetry has got a little
Yeah.
blink for you.
Yeah.
It's funny.
It's cool.
It's cool. There is a book called Who is Bugs Potter? A kid's book. I checked out from my library. I was the first graduating class from Rocky Ridge grade school. I checked it out. I was sick one weekend. I took all weekend to read that book. I was a slow reader. But this, and then I found the Paul Stanley cassette. This is 84. The Paul Stanley cassette and the Peter Criss cassette new. They were like, I don't know, $2.25 or something like that at Pay and Save.
$2.25.
But they were-
Cutouts, right?
Yeah, they were new old stock, and this is 84. And you could still find stuff like that in discount bins at the time. Up to the mid 80s you could sometimes. So this album and those 2 solo albums I listened to, and it was just pop, amazing pop music all weekend long, these 3 albums, because I just kind of got them all recently and read my little book, Who is Bugs Potter. I gotta rebuy that book and read that to my son.
There you go. Yeah.
Who is Bugs Potter?
Peter will be on eBay later looking for that.
And again, they're getting sleek. Things are shiny. It's 79, 80.
Same format on the back as Dynasty, really.
Yeah.
But
yeah, killer album cover.
Yeah, it is kind of announcing, okay, we're not necessarily a dangerous band anymore.
Yeah.
Here's a little comic strip about us.
Yeah.
That's, kind of goofy at the end. I still say they stink.
Yeah. I think it's great. I think it's funny.
Keep in mind, I was 9 when this came out. He was, what were you when this came out? At least 6 or so. So, I mean, this was right in our wheelhouse, really, Yeah, I used to love staring at this album cover and reading it all. Yeah, very cool, very cool.
So next, what do you think, Jason?
This right here is a statement. We're not going to show you what we look like. I know we're a visual band because it's about the music now. And this is, it's the order of the rose. You'd have to follow the story, but it's Paul's hand, his beautiful model hand. Yeah, I mean,
for me, just like in Stranger Things, I think the first season starts in 83, but early 80s, I was playing D&D, listening to Peace of Mind, and thinking about monsters and stuff. You know what I mean? Like in Heroes and Monsters and Bad Dudes, and we were rolling the dice, and we were playing games. We were using Book 2 and like...
were you ever the dungeon master?
No, I wasn't that smart. I was usually the youngest kid. I usually was not the oldest kid in all my friend groups over the years. I'm usually younger. I don't know why.
I went through a D&D phase as well.
Hell yeah. So this really appeals to me because this is cool shit. The only bummer about this is an opportunity to where they could have strutted their makeup on another album cover. And obviously Japan had the right idea. Hey, let's get that makeup on there. And I've always saw this in books.
And so did Kiss with their actual Killers album.
I mean, way cool. This looks way cool. Of course, it's not the real album cover. It's just a full Obi sleeve. But other than the fact that it's a missed opportunity to have the makeup on there, because the Kiss makeup, let's say, whether Dennis was directing or getting these right artists together or whatever, why these album covers, so many of them are so successful right in a row or not, the makeup was just so cool and pronounced and graphic, and you put their faces on it and put that logo in the corner, and it's hard to lose. Really, I mean, that's basically what they did on Dynasty, and we all think it's pretty cool.
Yes. So
they didn't do that here, but
that's what I like about it, though. I like the balls they showed doing this. Would I wear this on a shirt? Yes, I would. Don't have one, but I would. But
will you buy me one?
The thing is,
I thought I had one.
The main reason I would wear this on a shirt, though, would be to prance around announcing how much I love this album.
And fight with people?
Yeah, because I do love this album. That's been well documented on this channel. Watch our elder episode. We very much say very nice things about this masterpiece. It's a masterpiece.
Those are fighting words.
I know.
Although I agree.
So Paul's hand technically is on the cover, but no, they're nowhere to be seen, and I like that. I think it's cool.
It's a fabricated portion of a door, based on a door or some doors in New York.
Church doors.
The church there, and I mean, this is just as awesome because D&D. That's why. This is way cool.
This is back from the days.
It's not.
Apparently, it was too cool to knock. You had to use the knocker. Why do you need something to knock for you when you can just use your hand? I don't know.
This isn't the normal Kiss look, but it's cool, man.
When your hand is pretty as Paul's, you don't want to take a chance on bruising those precious knuckles. Use the knocker.
Just like an Exposed, what you're going to hear when you do this anyway, even though you're going to hear that ringer in Exposed.
All right.
So, like we mentioned, here is the Japanese version. They put an obi over it. It's amazing. Ace is big up here. There's lots of pink. It's killer. It's got Eric. It's Eric's first appearance on a cover.
Yeah, this was the
course.
cover of the Oath single that I ended up buying. I think it was a Japanese single.
So Eric's first appearance on a cover was just on the Japanese version of Elder.
Yeah.
Kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And by the way, all Kiss albums look better with a little obi over here, don't they? So that's it. And then it's the same photo sessions, is it not, that they used for Killers?
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely same photos.
And is this Dennis? This can't be Dennis. This has got to be, I mean, it's right. It's not even
Howard Marks.
It's not even American. Oh, well, Dennis probably was involved, huh? Production coordinator. It's funny tutor, but that's the audio probably. Yeah, it is Howard Marks though, which of course Dennis worked for. So I have this version here, which is German, I think, or Netherlands, and then we got the Polystar, which is the Japanese.
Didn't we notice when we did this episode that one of them says down on? Yeah. Okay. This says down on your knees. This is down on my knees.
Down on my knees. That's Jason's theme. That's...
I was about to say there's a difference between those two.
But again, like with Alive 2, sometimes just a simple color pop. So cool, you know? I love it. I've always loved the album cover. I remember I got a German copy originally, which I don't have these days. There's a period of time where I sold all my records. In
All of
like
them?
yeah, in like early '90s or something, and I said CDs are way better. I sold all my records. Like I was telling my daughter earlier, because she asked if I have any of my old original records, and I have Machine Head, Rampant by Nazareth. Those are both two of my very favorites, and a Charlie Parker Jam Session. Those were 3 records I inherited from my dad. They still have his signature on them stuff. Everybody had to write their names on records back then, because they'd be thrown in the party pile. You know what I mean? But I have those, and I don't have any other Kiss collectibles or cassettes, albums, nothing from in my youth. Do you? Do you have any of that original stuff?
Yes, actually.
Like what?
Albums that I would
that you had as a kid?
put my name on.
No way.
Oh,
You
yeah,
have
yeah.
your original Kiss albums as a kid?
Some of them. Some of them.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's lucky that you have
Yeah.
that, because I don't.
Yeah.
I remember the day that I got Destroyer, and I think it
There's
was...
a lot of them are sun warped.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, you can pop another vinyl in there, but you have the
Yeah.
cover.
Oh yeah.
The original cover you
Some
were
of them,
holding with
some
you.
of them.
Yeah, I went to the swap meet with my dad, and I got Destroyer and the Paul Stanley solo album the same day at the Midway. There was
Midway Drive. In
There was a
theater.
couple around here.
Yeah.
One of them was Midway. We'd
Yeah,
go out there, and in like 84, 85, you could find boxes all over the place at swap meets for like $1 or 50 cents. And that's how I got a lot of the Kiss vinyl. The cassettes, I had to go to Tower then and buy them. We couldn't order them cheap off eBay or anything
Tower
like that.
Records.
You had to
miss
go buy
you.
'em. Yeah. I remember when I got Unmasked, put it in the car, my dad drove me there. He got Mozart Symphony 40, and I got Unmasked. And he let me put it on in the car. He didn't let it play past maybe the second song, but he did let me put it on in the car. So then
He was disgusted by the pornographic lyrics and Is That You?
and probably
Cats drooling on the bar stool, people.
Uh-huh.
Think about it.
yeah. But yeah, I originally had the German copy of this, and I just always thought it was great. It's not perfect. The picture's not perfect. It seems a little bit blurry, but it was just intended to be an overseas thing, right? So, but the light blue, the ridiculous, you know,
It was the early 80s.
font. I just love it though.
Yeah.
I love it.
Ooh, now we're
Next.
getting bold.
Yeah.
Okay, so did you want us to show that booklet?
Oh yeah. So grab that, and I have this here that I came across this the other day, and since we were going to talk about these, people have talked about this, but I
He
managed.
actually owns it.
I came across the book, and it is very similar in that there is, maybe point it down a bit. Yeah, there we go. We got the pink, then we got pink here, we got the eyes, kind of a blue base. This is, I suppose, maybe heavier on purple, but, and back here, it's almost even more similar.
That's like the I Love It Loud video right there.
Yeah.
When did that book come out, Peter?
Before.
Yeah, exactly. That's the point.
So it is interesting. I can read about Creatures of the Night by Troll Associates is the company, but written by David Cutts. Illustrated Gene Chandler. There is actually some pretty cool pages in here. It's cool kids. It's cool kids art. I can say that probably nobody has really cared to ever show the art from this book. But I am pretty geeky and nostalgic like that. So there is a couple.
On the next episode, Peter's going to read the book to you.
There's some
We have to live up to our boring title. Just read it now.
Oh god, this is boring as fuck. This is perfect. This is us, man.
But yeah, this is one of those album covers that perfectly links into the way the album sounds.
It's pretty much two-tone, so it's powerful. That creates the simplicity, but it is based off a photo. Their eyes are glowing, so that's badass.
I like how Eric's the dominant one. Yeah, oh yeah.
Their eyes are glowing, it's badass, but it is early 80s, so you got some pink and some purple shades up here. So it's got a little of everything. And if it's a comeback for those people who didn't like the other album cover, of course. It didn't have them on it. It looked like a boring wood door. No, you know.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, here we are. We're back. We're heavy. We're dark.
It's amazing. Dinah Ross is standing over here somewhere,
Yes, she
supposedly.
is. She is. Yeah. In real life. Yeah.
And
very
then
cool.
the better version, because it has the obi. Although I do like the colors, there is quite a bit of difference between the lightness of the American version. It's fairly dark on the Japanese version here, so I like the American for the color, for the pop, and all that. Pop's nice.
How about that at Payless in Spanaway?
You did?
Yes.
See, that's what we want to hear. That's fun stuff.
Okay, that's good local
How much
stuff.
was it? How much was it?
Probably $7.99 maybe. This is
See,
1982.
I just like people's journey with the whole thing. I think it's cool, you know.
Especially when it's local and you can relate, you know, like, oh yeah, I used to go in there too.
We should really geek out and just have some friends on and just talk about when they got into Kiss too, and we can all just geek out.
Oh, that'd be awesome. I know some people that would do that. Yeah.
That could be fun.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So they took the makeup off,
But they still managed to get a killer album cover.
I mean,
That's a killer
what
album cover.
says here we are, this is the way we look now, more than four guys in street clothes standing in front of a white backdrop.
Mm-hmm.
You know, of course he has to stick his tongue out to connect it to the past, right?
Mm.
But yeah, very cool. Even if that is a mannequin, no, it's not.
This reminds me, the way they're standing, the fact that their bodies are creating a lot of the eye candy here. These just shapes that are going on. This reminds me of the first cover. What I don't like about the first cover is that it's just four floating heads that kind of sort of are not really even fitting together that well. It's too bad that the first album cover didn't have their costumes.
They look like a unit here. Mitch Weissman picked this picture out of all the pictures that they could choose from.
Well, it's probably Paul's head from some other shot, and it's definitely edited.
Yeah.
Or whoever.
Then he's wearing a wig.
Yeah.
But yeah, very cool. I just like it's just simple,
It's killer.
Stand over here.
It's got one guy wearing some color. It's great,
Yeah.
The white background.
Stand over here, look cool. Snap, snap, snap. Picture. Album.
And this is different for Kiss. Had this happen with the transparent, just the outline of the logo, had that happen on any other album at that point? I don't really know if it had. That might have been a first, right?
First I remember.
And Dennis is on the case on this also, right? Sometimes just the call to make this transparent with the black border, with the white coming through also. Just the font you choose, Sometimes I'll do a flyer and for a show, and I go to bed thinking like, that's pretty good, right? I wake up the next day, I look at it, I go, God, that sucks.
You know
what I mean?
He sends me flyers of shows that I booked. Like, here, use this, send this to the bands. So I do that, and then the next day, I've improved it.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
Then I have to send that to the
bands.
bands.
Then I spend another 2 hours on it and send it back to somebody. I did that last night for a show coming up. So he has two versions to pick from. But, yeah, great album cover. And sometimes it's another simple album cover, but just a couple smart little choices can make it really appealing,
Simple back, too.
definitely a simple back.
There you go.
Definitely a simple back. And this is in the era where they start to really streamline. They're owned by Polygram, blah, blah, blah. They're streamlining things around the world. So look it up. It's hard to find a lot of variances for this album, except for, of course, Japan didn't want to let go. They still got makeup right here, so.
Come on, Japan let it go, okay?
They wouldn't let
go.
go.
They took their makeup off now.
They just wouldn't let go. And it's another full obi. So.
They're just stuck on the whole 77, 78 shows that they've seen, and they don't want to let it go.
It's way cool, though, but it's not as cool as the full obi on Creature.
It's the whole kabuki thing.
Or on Elder. That's pretty cool.
Very cool.
Yeah. So, boom. Elder. Or, Animalize.
No, see.
So, Animalize. What do you want to say about Animalize?
What I don't like about it is it looks pretty cheap.
Yeah.
But at the same time, this was a sign of the times, and it kind of lent itself to the way they'd be dressing.
Blackie Lawless was wearing animal furs too, and they opened up for them on the Asylum tour.
Yeah, but it just looks so like, I don't know. This is the best you could come up with.
This was Paul's idea. I think Paul had this worked out.
I don't know.
It's striking. You know it a mile away.
I've seen cool Animalized shirts, but the shirts have this on the front. Not that. I don't want to wear that.
Yeah. It's not super hip these days. At the time, you're right. You'd probably see Bon Jovi and whatever pictures where they got some animal furs going on. And, it pops. You know it's that Kiss album, but...
To me, it defines that era for them.
I gotta say, if you look at it, I've been looking at it my whole life. If you look at it through different eyes, it really is pretty damn ugly.
Yeah.
It's a pretty ugly album cover. I just know
think of how many animals died for this album cover. Not cool, Kiss.
I know it as Kiss.
PETA's all over this.
These are rugs, obviously, right? I know it is Kiss Animalized, but if I step back, it is pretty ugly. This one here, not so bad. It's got some 80s colors.
I do like that they brought back the color theme with the blue, red,
solo album covers, yeah.
Although that's not Ace and Peter, so what's going on? But, this is a 1985 album cover. This, I like it. I'd wear it on a shirt. I had at the time. I thought it was cool at the time. Yeah, it's cool. It's, I put it on, it's on the higher part of the non-makeup album.
In the 80s, there were definitely a lot, like Genesis Abacab, there was a lot of pastel going on. And these are stronger colors than this isn't just all light pink and light blues. It's fairly strong.
Yeah, I love the picture on the back. And again, had a shirt with that on the cover as well.
Yep, oh yeah.
So, yeah, very cool.
Dennis said that Eric, the second time I watched the making of this album cover episode with Dennis Wallach, he said that, I missed it the first time for some reason, but he said Eric called him up and said, "Why is half my face cut off?" You seen that episode?
It rings a bell, yes.
I guess he called him and said, "Why'd you cut off half my face?" He just, he was already out. And I guess he just wanted to bitch.
Come on, Eric, on Creatures, you're the biggest one in the
It wasn't going to
middle.
get changed at that point, but he just wanted to call and...
Yeah.
and I guess Dennis said he did feel kind of bad, but it's at an angle. Somebody's face needs to go off. You're not gonna have Paul's left eyeball off, the right eyeball off.
Right.
Someone's got to go off.
It's cool.
And this is my third in my trilogy of my heyday of, when I bought the albums when they were new, when I was first getting into them. Animalize, Asylum, Crazy Nights, and when I got in the car with my dad, he said, "Fad." So my dad, fad. And then he's right. It's kind of a simple fad. The Broken Mirror. What does it mean in combination with the album title? That's the only...
Things are getting crazy. Mirrors are getting broken.
Really, Broken Mirror, that you can see them in the shards. If they really illustrated Crazy Nights more, like, say, a bunch of people partying, like a scene from Bachelor Pad or something, would you really want to see that on here? I'm kind of glad they did this, I guess.
Have you seen, I don't know if I sent it to you, the original cover? It's Kiss. Mm-hmm. They're super small. They literally look like little people. Okay? And these high heels, these women standing here.
Mm-hmm.
So Kiss are like super small, but they're giant women. I don't get it. It's like,
Really?
Yeah.
The original cover. You mean
Yeah.
I'm just
It's
an
like
idea?
Honey, I Shrunk the Band should be the name of the.
It was.
Because.
So it was an idea.
Yeah, it was mocked up though.
And obviously, we know that throughout the years, most of the album covers were pretty cool and they popped pretty well. And this was the last one with Dennis, and you can tell because after then things definitely changed. What's so 87? Yep, this would be next, right?
Yeah, I didn't have this on my list, by the way, and if I did, it would be very near the bottom.
Yeah.
Look at it.
I mean, again, the hands are not horrible. It's actually kind of creepy in almost a horror movie way, but you know, I don't know.
What's this thing Paul's doing? What's that?
I don't know. It's a bird. This is a really cool copy because you know it's the gatefold with some cool pics in there, and the picture disc, and the back is like that. Seek it out if you don't have it. This is actually kind of a horrible album, but pretty cool to have the gatefold version of it.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Did we ever do a show on this? Did we mention it?
We don't need. We've mentioned it. We don't probably need to do a show on it, but would anybody watch that if we did? I don't know. Would they? Would they?
I think we did though. I think we ran through it towards the end of like our Crazy Nights.
Yeah,
episode.
yeah. We talked about it for a second.
Yeah.
So I won the regular version, American version of this from Metal Edge, where you just cut out the little form.
Metal
sign it in.
Edge.
Yeah.
There you go.
Cut out the form, send it in. I thought I'm never gonna win this, but all I have to do is, you know, buy a stamp, and I mailed it off. My mom did for me probably, and it showed up in the mail with a little cutout bin notch. So they were giving them in the Metal Edge and the magazines.
So was your name in the back of the magazine? Like winners of...
I think it was listed. I think it was listed an episode or an issue or two later.
Someone needs to find that. Look for his name in a Metal Edge.
I should look it up actually, because I think you're right. I think they did have a little list of winners.
Yeah.
We're missing a couple after that. This is next. We talked about it earlier. It's. You know,
oh my God! It matches my shirt.
I hate to see. How are you dressed today, Jason? I mean, yeah. Actually, let's just get this.
There's your thumbnail.
That looks so perfect. So it is just kind of a silly idea. It's kind of silly. It's kind of silly.
It was just a concept they thought of sitting around a marketing table, and let's go with that.
Late 80s.
Yeah.
I don't know. What bands were they? I don't know. I don't even know about it. So the next bit of a comeback, obviously, but the album cover, it does look tough, but it's not amazing.
That's the point.
But it looks tough though.
Yeah.
It's tough and rough.
And is their name written in blood?
It
What
looks
is that?
It looks like blood, or you know, it's you know, maybe should that be a little higher on my list for the blood?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Blood takes up a few notches.
And then what was after that? I guess Unplugged is after that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's Unplugged. Not really very
Unless
cool.
you count Kiss My Ass, but we're not.
I don't know. Never was a very cool cover, but I was excited when this was happening at the time, whether the cover was cool or not.
Oh, I guess Alive 3 was after Revenge.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I don't have that on vinyl, but I wasn't really a big fan of the cover.
Nah, I mean, it's Kiss Alive 3 and their pictures are inside of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, I mean, it's straight to the point.
Then what? Carnival, which I do have on CD. I didn't grab. We just did our Carnival episode. Was that our last episode or the before? I think it was our last episode.
Yes. No, yeah. Carnival was last.
And then this guy came out after the band got going again, and it just always looked a little cheap to me. Like, I don't know. This was intended to be like a 3D, like, right?
Why does Ace look like a zombie, first of all? Look at his eyes.
Well, this originally was on CD mainly, right? And when you went like this, it made the picture
Correct.
look fancy.
Yeah.
Did you really even see a different image, or I can't remember how that worked?
Slightly.
Yeah, it didn't work that well.
No.
I don't remember. It didn't pop that well. So I guess that's why this doesn't really pop that well.
Yeah.
The back, not too bad. You know, it's okay.
Yeah. It's very circusy.
I don't know. This is from here on out. They're just really not my favorites. And this is the Rock and Roll Over guy. So they're trying to get back to basics. They're trying to get Gene playing, walking, bumping around bass lines and playing with a ripper, or I don't know if he's playing with a ripper. I can't remember. There's some footage of them recording, but they're trying to get back to basics here, and present the world with.
Well, they think this is retro, but it just doesn't do it for me.
They're trying to present to the world the new lineup in really the groundwork laid by the original.
Exactly.
So they got the
Connected to
Rock and Roll
past.
Over dude, and they went through some effort to make it sound kind of raw, which it does. It sounds raw. Things are
Monster even more so though.
Monster's even louder. I think it's maybe Monster might sound more like that because of the mastering process. It's definitely louder. It's way more slammed, compressed.
No complaints about it though, because this is I think it's far superior over Sonic Boom. Some people probably disagree with that, but this is a damn get out.
Yeah,
Good way to go out.
To me, that's a good pair. There's maybe more songs I love on this, but there's some good stuff on Sonic though.
And as far as this album cover,
The ones they played live aren't really the ones for me, but there's some stuff on there, Modern Day Delilah and stuff like that.
I like this.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. This always reminded me and everybody of the Monster Drinks. I think they got sued, right?
Was never a super big fan of both the album title and that logo font.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They had to alter this slightly, didn't they? Because Monster Drinks said, "Hey, that's." Didn't they?
That I don't remember. Maybe.
I think there's something to that.
Okay. Yeah, it's heavily airbrushed and touched up, but look, Peter made the cover. Look at that.
Oh, that's cool.
It's Rock and Roll Over Peter.
I guess I've always seen it and just really didn't think much of it, but he's got Peter Rock and Roll Over on there.
Yeah.
That's good on him for being cool like that.
Oh yeah. It's cool. It's a cool album cover.
Yeah, it's not horrible.
So that's it. We didn't do all those greatest hits like the very best of Kiss or Millennium Volume 7 or whatever it's up to now. We didn't do all that. Or even a Live 4. A Live 4 Sympathy. Sympathy. Symphony. That's one of the worst right there. But anyway, that was our album covers episode, ranking them, telling you what we think of them. For Michael Terry, who donated money. And he picked a really good topic, so therefore we did a whole episode about it. Okay, so what are we doing next? What do you want to do next?
We're supposed to do Kiss My Ass is what we're talking about.
Yeah, we've been talking about doing Kiss My Ass, and that's the one we were prepping for, but then this came up, and this took, this was way more important.
We figure why not? This is a fun one. So.
Very fun. Yeah. So we have Kiss My Ass like on the back burner.
Yeah.
So coming up soon.
See you in a few weeks.
Talk to you soon. Jason, Peter.